Right, one back to you in today's video. We're doing the 5-day forecast today. Got some very interesting weather coming up over the next 5 days. Looks like we're going to be remaining very cold, and we are likely to be seeing more heavy snow as well, particularly Friday, when I think we could see some really significant snow across many parts of the country, maybe blizzards and drifting of that snow as well. A very severe day in some parts of the country seems likely on Friday. Now, before I get on with the video, I just want to mention the advertising email usually be a video ad overlay my weather videos at gazweatherviz.com. Please play those videos. You'll be supporting gazweatherviz.com by doing that. The websites we're using for the video, we've got the radar picture from the UK Met Office, we've got the charts from weathercentral.de and weatheroutlook.com. All three of those websites are on my links page. Click on the links and check out websites for yourself. So this is the situation today across the country in terms of precipitation. Many areas actually having a very dry day. We've got this snow up across central and northern Scotland. We've got some snow flurries running down the east coast. And this area of precipitation here for western Scotland down into Northern Ireland is generally rain and sleet, and that's going to persist across Ireland through the course of today, probably easing off across western parts of Scotland. This is the pressure chart for today. The high pressure over Scandinavia is the dominating feature about this, really bringing cold air off the frozen continent, with these areas of low pressure, which would normally be giving us our mild westerly winds, being stalled out in the Atlantic. So that's the way of it for today. I've got the snow flows running down the east coast, rain, sleet and snow for western and northern Scotland and down into Northern Ireland as well. The rest of the country generally dry and fine, wind mainly dry, but there's a lot of freezing fog patches around. Those are really quite stubborn today, and pretty severe in those freezing fog patches as well. Visibility is very low indeed, so if you're out driving about, do take care if you come across those freezing fog patches, because they are really quite nice. Also depositing a lot of rime on the trees and pavements and roads, and no doubt that's creating some slipperiness on those roads as well, so do take care if you're out and about in the fog today. Otherwise, in between the fog, we've got a lot of low cloud, but some bright or sunny spells as well. But it's a really cold day today, with temperatures straight to get above freezing, staying well below freezing in the fog at around -3, otherwise up to around -10 degrees, 1 Celsius maybe in some of the towns and cities. And down in the far southwest it's a bit milder, the temperatures there up to 4 or 5 degrees, but generally it's a very cold day across many parts of the country, a true ice day for a lot of us. Now, as we go into tonight, the high pressure over Scandinavia maintains the fine weather. We've got a little weather front here still across Ireland, that'll be coming down in towards Wales and southwestern England later on in the night to northwestern England as well. So I think we do see rain and sleet across Northern Ireland, eventually moving into northwest England, Wales, and maybe into the southwest, and that could produce some snow, mainly light snow, but it could be enough to give a covering. The rest of the country having a lot of dry weather again tonight. A few snow flurries continue around the eastern coast, but generally it's a dry night with dense freezing fog patches coming back again, and a really hard frost, a severe frost in many parts of the country, with temperatures widely down to -5, -6, -7. Some places going as low as -10, maybe -11 degrees tonight. That's 14 to 12 Fahrenheit. A really, really cold and frosty night tonight. Now, moving on into Thursday, we're going to start using the facts charts from the UK Met Office. These are the human interpretation of the computer models by the forecasters at Met Office. There's that little system in the west on Thursday, just a very weak weather front, but perhaps enough to produce some lighter snow across parts of southwest Scotland, northwest England, and down to Wales. Maybe just getting into the West Midlands as well tomorrow, but I think that really will be quite light, that snow. Elsewhere, again, we've got a lot of freezing fog patches around, some low cloud as well, but outside of the freezing fog and low cloud, we will have some sunny spells coming through. Excuse me. Now, later on in the day, this area of low pressure in the Atlantic will start to spread some cloud with rain in towards Ireland, and that's the first hints of the weather coming up for Friday. A really cold day tomorrow again, temperatures staying below freezing for many of us once again, just getting up to 1-2 degrees, perhaps in the far southwest, 3 degrees maybe, but generally most places are going to be struggling to get above freezing tomorrow, and in the fog you'll be sticking around -3 for much of the day. Now, as we go into Thursday night and Friday, then that low pressure is really deepening in the Atlantic. The weather fronts here are starting to move in. The ice bar is getting tightly packed, so it will be turning very windy, gale force winds up the western side ahead of this weather front. And as the front moves in across Ireland and southwest England, it will be producing rain, but come a little way inland into southwestern England, and that will readily turn to storm. There could be drifting and blizzards by the end of Thursday night across the moors of southwestern England and across parts of South Wales too. As we move through into Friday, then we've got the high pressure still there over Scandinavia. We've got the low pressure in the Atlantic. This is a classic winter battleground type situation, the like that we used to see quite a bit in the 1980s, but we haven't had very often in recent years. But these weather fronts are moving into that very cold air. Ice bars are tightly packed, so it'll be really windy on Friday. There'll be gales with a severe wind chill in many areas. We'll also have this heavy area of rain across Ireland, down into the very far southwest and moving inland into Wales, southwestern England, northwest England, basically the western mainland of the UK. We're going to be seeing outbreaks of heavy snow driven on by a strong southerly wind, and that's southerly to southeasterly wind. And that snow will eventually extend into the Midlands, parts of central southern England, possibly into southern Scotland and central Scotland as well. The east probably staying mainly dry through daylight hours on Friday, but many places will be turning cloudy and windy with heavy snow moving in during the course of the day. Could be anything up to 10, maybe 15 centimetres in some places. That's getting on for 6 inches, driven on by that southeasterly wind. There will be drifting, and over hills there could well be blizzard conditions as well. So a very unpleasant day seems likely as we go into Friday. Temperature staying below freezing all day for many of us. Into Friday night, Saturday morning, and that weather system is making ever so painful slow progress north and east. It will still be snowing across many parts of the country on Friday night, perhaps turning back to rain down across the south of Wales and into southwest England, possibly up toward the Bristol area as well. We might see some of that snow beginning to turn a bit sleety, but really for the rest of us, we are looking at more heavy snow on Friday night. Significant accumulations continue, and again it's still windy, particularly in the north and the east. This time we've got those strong winds, but winds are starting to ease off in the southwest as that low pressure is stalling and beginning to slide away. It will be a frosty night, obviously, with all that snow about on Friday night. And as we go into Saturday, that low pressure is beginning to slide away, but weather fronts are starting to weaken in the east. They have made it through to the east, but they'll probably be quite weak there, only producing light snow probably in eastern parts of the country. And gradually through the day, that'll start to slip away to the south. We'll see brighter skies gradually starting to edge down from the northwest. So Saturday is really an improving sort of day, one of those days where we start off with quite a bit of snow around. It turns lighter and lighter, fizzles out through the day, and eventually the cloud begins to break and sunshine starts to come through. Another really cold day though for many of us on the Saturday, with temperatures struggling to get above freezing. There's the chart from the GFS model for Saturday with that low pressure. Then it's stalled across the country, the weather fronts have stalled, and the low pressure is starting to slip away to the south. As we move through into Sunday, it looks like we're going to repeat the process. This next area of low pressure in the Atlantic is trying to throw more weather systems in across the country, coming up against that block of cold air over Scandinavia, but potentially there again for more snow in the south and the west. So we're looking at a really severe frost across many parts of the country with that deep snow cover on Sunday morning. Difficult to say how low those temperatures will go. They will go very low, I think, on Saturday night. Then many areas dry and fine with sunshine on Saturday, but bitterly cold, temperatures staying below freezing. But for Ireland, Wales, southwest England will bring more cloud and rain in off the Atlantic, and again as that starts to move inland, it looks like it'll be producing another snow event, particularly through Wales and parts of southwestern England away from Cornwall, where it's likely to be rain. Again, temperatures staying below freezing all day on Sunday. And then as we go into Monday again, that low pressure is stalling across the country. So there could be more snow, I think, as we go into Monday. Difficult to say how much and where it's going to be. Maybe more in way of rain for Wales and the southwest. But really, I think the idea is that we get more snow as we go into Monday. Significant snow again seems like, with that low pressure really stalling in that very cold air. Finally, have a look at the charts from the weather outlook. This is the chart for today. A lot of dry weather really away from the west. It doesn't show, but there'll be rain and sleet across Ireland, and away from the east where we've got snow flurries. Many areas dry but bitterly cold. Into tomorrow, we've got the rain and sleet, giving some snow as well for Wales, northwest England, southwestern Scotland. Significant snow then, excuse me, into the west as we go into Friday. Really will be quite nasty on Friday, with heavy snow, drifting and blizzards seeming likely across parts of the country as that snow gradually edges in from the west. A strong southeasterly wind and temperatures staying below freezing all day. Snow gradually eases off as we go into Saturday, but there will still be snow around, but gradually will be fizzling out and moving away to the south. And then on Sunday, a lot of fine weather, very cold with good sunny spell, but we'll have more snow coming into the south and the west during the course of the day. Rain on the coast, but turning to snow as we go through the day. And then as we go into Monday, well, this is suggesting rain in the southwest, but I think we've got quite a bit of snow to come again on Monday. Another snow event seems likely, but it's uncertain. That's a long way off. So in summary, it looks as though we've got some very severe weather on the way for the next few days. Really cold for today and tomorrow, and then Friday we've got that snow event. Heavy snow moving in from the west, driven on by a strong southerly to southeasterly wind. There'll be drifting and blizzards of that snow in places. Probably not getting into the far east of the country, at least through daylight hours, but many places, particularly central western parts, getting significant snow on Friday, and that snow continues into Saturday, gradually easing off, remaining very cold over the weekend, and there could be more snow as we go through into Monday. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.